So in the end of last meeting, we differentiate between short run and long run. What is short run? It is a period of time in which we cannot expand capital or the size of the project. So capital is fixed while labor is still variable. In the long run, all factors of production are variable or can be varied. So there are no fixed factors of production. We have enough time to increase the size of the project. What is the optimal or the best method of production? The method that minimizes cost. We have production technology. What is a production technology? It is a quantitative relationship between inputs and output. So Fawzan can produce output, which is 1,000 kilos of tomatoes, if he use 5 workers and a piece of land. So this is a relationship between inputs and output. We have two kinds of technologies. The first one is called labor intensive technology, تكنولوجيا كثيفة العمل, and capital intensive technology. So even we are talking about 1,000 kilos of tomatoes per week, we can produce this amount by using labor intensive technology, by using more units of labor and minor equipments. But with capital intensive technology, we can use more units of capital and minor unit of labor. It depends on the availability of resources in each society. For example, in Egypt, labor is more available. Labor is cheaper than capital. So capital is scarce in Egypt. While in Germany, capital is more available and is more cheaper than labor. So according to the availability of resources, they select. In this example, I gave prices for labor and capital, two scenarios, and I compare between different technologies. So I search for the technology that minimizes cost. So it's not important to go into the details of this slide. What is production process? It can be summarized by a graph or by an equation. Let me start with Fawzan.
Production function or total product function, a numerical or mathematical expression of a relationship between inputs and outputs. It shows units of total product as a function of units of inputs.
Okay, so in very easy way, we are talking about Fawzan, who has a piece of land in Sharjah, produces tomatoes. Or let's say Zaid has a restaurant producing sandwiches. So the size of the restaurant is fixed. If the number of employees or workers is 0, total product will be 0. If Zaid appoints 1 worker, this guy can produce 10 sandwiches per hour. If he appoints 2 instead of 1, now we have 2 workers. 2 workers can produce 25 sandwiches per hour. So as you see, as labor increases, total product or total production or units of production will increase. But there are hidden information behind these numbers. You know, I can spend an hour explaining what's secret behind these numbers. But do you know the general trend is as labor increases, total product increases, but there are hidden information. We will cover it in the coming slides. We have 2 terms, marginal product of labor. What is marginal product of labor? Is the change or increase in total product due to increase in labor by 1 unit. So for example, how I calculate 15. So the marginal product of the second worker, the change in total product, 25 minus 10, which is 15, divided by 2 minus 1, it is 1. So 15 divided by 1, it is 15. What is 15? That means the second worker caused total product to increase by 15 units. So marginal product is the productivity of the last worker. So as you see, total product increases and then it decreases, it reaches 0. If I exaggerate appointing more workers, such as going to 7 workers, total product may decrease to 40. So marginal product will be minus 2. 40 minus 42, it will be minus 2. So the 7th worker caused total product to decrease by 2 units. What is average product? Average product is the productivity of each worker averagely. Productivity of each worker averagely. For example, if I have 2 workers in my restaurant, both of them can produce 25 sandwiches. So what is the average product? 25 divided by 2 equals 12.5. So this is the productivity of each one averagely. Total average product increases and then it decreases and it will continue decreasing. So I remember I draw this graph on the board, on whiteboard, and one of my students shoot a photo and he gave me this photo. So it reminded me with some memories. So look at this curve. This curve is called total product. So as you see, we have a 3 stage of production. Hopefully you can concentrate. Try to understand the behavior of total product. So we have a 3 stage. First stage, second stage, and first stage of production. In the first stage of production, as Zayed appoints additional units of labor, total product increases at an increasing rate. Increases at an increasing rate, or total product increases faster from 0 to 10 to 25. See the difference. The first one caused total product to increase by 10. The second worker caused total product to increase by 15. So we say total product increases faster, causing marginal product to increase. Why? Because of specialization and division of labor. بسبب التخصص وتقسيم العمل. So after a certain point, which is called the inflection point, if Zayed continues adding more units of labor, total product also will increase, but at a decreasing rate. So see here, the 6th worker increased output maybe by 1 unit, a little bit. Why? Because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. What's the meaning of the law of diminishing marginal returns? As we add more units of labor to fixed capital, the marginal product of labor will decrease from 15, 10, 5 to 0, because we add more units of labor. As we reach to the full capacity or the maximum point on total product, the increase in total product will be so minor for the last worker. In the third stage of production, if Zayed exaggerates adding more units of labor, total product may decrease, causing marginal product to take negative value, such as -2. Why? Because we reach to an appropriate balance between labor and capital. So now we have too many workers with limited capital. So they will fight each other. They will eat tomatoes. So total product will decrease. So the behavior of average product is affected by marginal product. So average product increases and then it decreases. So this graph is important. The second panel of the graph, we will take it in the next chapter related to the costs. And there is definitely a relationship between them. So again, this is total product. So see here in the first stage of production, total product increases faster. See here the difference between 0 to 10, 10. Between 10 to 25, it is 15. So marginal product increases. But after the second worker, total product increases, but at a decreasing rate, causing marginal product to decrease. See here from 15 to 10 to 5 to 2 to 0. If we continue adding more units after 6, total product may decrease, causing marginal product to take negative value. So try to be familiar how to read the graph. So see here, when we add, according to this example, when we add 6 worker, total product decreases. Total product decreased from 55 to 50. So marginal product will be -5. Marginal product will be -5.
Marginal product, the additional output that can be produced by adding one more unit of a specific input, ceteris paribus.
Okay, assume that other factors remain constant. What is marginal product of labor? If we add, if Zaid appoints additional unit of labor, if he decided to appoint a new worker, total product may increase. So what is marginal product? The increase in total product due to increase in labor by 1 unit. So for example, output increased from 10 to 25 due to increase in labor from 1 to 2. So we say 15 divided by 1 equals 15. So the productivity of the second worker equals 15 sandwiches per hour. That means the second worker caused output to increase by 15 units. For example,
Law of diminishing margin returns. When additional units of a variable input, labor, are added to fixed inputs, the capital, after a certain point, the marginal product of the variable input, the labor, declines.
okay, so see here, if we add more units of labor to fixed capital after a certain point, which is the inflection point on total product curve, the marginal product of labor will decrease. So this is the law of diminishing marginal returns, and it is acceptable because there is no possible to get benefit from more specialization. We ended the specialization. So after ending the specialization, if you insist to add more units of labor, the new worker can increase output, but a little bit. As you add more, the additional units will be less and less. This is called marginal product decreases. So this graph is nice. So it's clear we have 3 stages of production. In the first stage of production, as Zaid add more additional units of labor, total product increases at an increasing rate. Total product increases faster, causing marginal product to increase. Why? Because of specialization and division of labor بسبب التخصص وتقسيم العمل. After a certain point, after the inflection point on total product curve, if we add more units of labor in our restaurant, total product also will increase, but at a decreasing rate, causing marginal product to decrease. Because why? Because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. See here the seventh worker. The seventh worker caused output to increase, but maybe 0.2, less than 1 unit, maybe 0.2, minor increase, small increase in total product. In the third stage of production, if Zayed exaggerates adding more units of labor, see here at point H, we reach the full capacity. This is determined by fixed capital. This is the maximum amount of output can be produced. After this point, if he insisted to add more units of labor, total product may decrease, causing marginal product to take negative value. Why? Because of inappropriate balance between labor and capital. So now we have too many labor units with limited capital. What is average product? Average product equals total product divided by labor units. So let's say 25 divided by 2 equals 12.5. So this is the productivity per worker averagely. I will not explain discussion questions. I already explained them during the class. So there is a slide about opportunity cost, normal rate of return, and there is an example. This slide I said is important. So let me go straight to the case study. Just let me summarize the story written as introduction to case study 1. So Farm is produced by a Chinese company. And there is a consultancy company in Abu Dhabi called 5G, made an agreement with Chinese company to produce the vaccine in the UAE. So they made the agreement. And then this 5G consultancy company doesn't have resources, capital and labor. So they made an agreement and they are in a hurry. They don't have time to build a new plant because they are in a hurry to produce vaccine. So they seeked a help. They seeked a help from Julphar. So let's say they made an agreement with Julphar and they took a producing line or plant from Julphar in Ras Al Khaimah and they started producing something called Hayat-Vax. And according to the full capacity of this plant is designed to produce 2 million doses per month. Currently, they are producing 100 million doses. 1 million doses per month. So currently, they are producing 1 million doses per month. They have nice dream. So their final goal to produce 100 million doses because there is a huge demand on the vaccine. And there is more information about the environment of the coronavirus pandemic and the importance of the vaccine. So this is the case study. Now it's a time to raise questions. We can put lots of questions, such as the effectiveness of Sinopharm, the distribution of Sinopharm, the relationship between the government and the company producing Hayat-Vax, because the government purchased all the vaccine and distributed for free without charge. So the government pays all the expenses of Hayat-Vax production. And it's clear there is a strong relationship between our government and the government in China. So there is an umbrella of the political relationship between two countries. And for who designed these 5 questions? Al-Jundi designed 5 questions to check your understanding to chapter 5. See, please, I will repeat this point. So I designed 5 questions to check your understanding to chapter 5. So we explain chapter 5, and we will use our information or our understanding to chapter 5 to answer these questions. So let me go. This is case study number 1, question number 1. We have 5 questions. So Mira Muhammad, could you read question number 1?
Yes, doctor. Could the producing plant owned by
pharmaceutical
company Julphar and Ras Al Khaimah increase the scale of operation by adding more units of fixed factors of production next month? Employ the production theory to explain your view.
Okay. See, I will summarize the question. So here we have a plant owned by Julphar in Ras Al Khaimah. So this plant is in charge of producing Hayat-Vax. So it is, just imagine, it is a producing line to produce Hayat-Vax. The technical support came from Chinese company, how to produce Hayat-Vax. So now the question, can we increase scale of operation by next month? According to our explanation to the chapter 5, the answer will be as follows. The answer, no. We cannot increase the scale of operation by next month by adding new fixed factors of production, because next month is within a period of short run, and in the short run we assume capital is fixed, and to increase the size of the project we need a longer period of time. This can be happened in the long run, in the coming 2 years. So again, what is the answer of this question? Can the producing unit increase the scale of operation? No. 1 month is a short period of time. Capital is fixed. We cannot increase the scale of operation. Increasing the scale of operation takes maybe 2 years, which is a long period of time. But meanwhile, we can increase production by increasing labor. So this is my answer. Let's go to a question number 2 with Mira. Mira Muhammad. Aisha. Mira, read question number 2.
Okay. At present, the producing plant owned by pharmaceutical
Pharmaceutical
company Julphar and Ras Al Khaimah is producing 1 million doses of Hayat-Vax per month. Could the producing plant increase its production next month? Apply the production theory to explain your view.
Okay, so the answer is as follows. So right now they are producing 1 million. Can they increase their production by next month? The answer is as follows. Yes, they can increase production by next month because they didn't reach the full capacity. So what they should do, they have to hire more workers and they can produce more till they get production of 2 million. The full capacity, according to fixed capital, they are allowed to produce as maximum as 2 million doses of production. So in the short run, even capital is fixed, they can increase the production by adding more units of labor till they reach the full capacity of 2 million doses per month. So Mira Muhammad, question number 3.
The top management of pharmaceutical company
pharmaceutical
company Julphar and Ras Al Khaimah realized that the productivity using the concept of marginal product of labor in the producing plant had increased. In the first weeks of launching the production process, even though the number of workers has increased. Utilize the production theory to explain why productivity had increased in the first stage of production.
Okay, see here, what is the question? They noticed when they start launching, they start operating the production, they noticed an increase in marginal product of labor. Even they are increasing units of labor. So why? So explain why the productivity had increased. So this is the first stage of production. What is the idea? In the first stage of production, as unit of labor increases, total product will increase at an increasing rate, causing marginal product to increase. Why total product increases at an increasing rate? Because of specialization and division of labor. So when they start opening the project, they have, let's say, 0 labor, 1 labor, 2 labor, 3 labors. So as they add more units of labor, the degree of specialization and division of labor, التخصص وتقسيم العمل, will be improved. So the productivity of each new worker will be better than the previous one because we benefit from more specialization. Let's go to, so see, even I'm explaining faster. So this is, while I'm explaining these questions, it is a summary of chapter 5. So you need to understand chapter 5 again. And this video is already recorded, so you can come back and understand how to answer these questions. You can add more details. Mira Muhammad.
The production manager of the producing plant owned by pharmaceutical company Julphar and Ras Al Khaimah claimed that she was experiencing a drop in productivity using the concept of marginal product of labor. Last a couple of weeks associated with an increase in the number of workers. Interrupt.
Yeah, interrupt. Nice, interrupt. Nice. Go ahead.
Why productivity was decreasing last a couple of weeks.
Okay. So what is the question now? Last 2 weeks, they noticed a decrease in marginal product of labor as they add more units of labor. So when they appoint a new worker, this new worker has a productivity less than the previous. Why? So the answer is as follows. That means the plant enters into the second stage of production. As they add more units of labor, total product increases at a decreasing rate, causing marginal product of labor to decrease. Why? Because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. What's the meaning of the law of diminishing marginal returns? As you add more units of labor to fixed capital, the marginal product of labor decreases. As you reaching the full capacity, the new worker will produce less than the previous worker. We call this total product increases at a decreasing rate, which cause marginal product to decrease. Let's go to last question with Mira.
An economist advised the top management of pharmaceutical company Julphar and Ras Al Khaimah not to hire more workers in the producing plant. Predict what would happen to the level of total production and productivity in the plant manager. Exaggerated, hiring more workers.
Okay, so what's the meaning of exaggerate? What's the meaning of exaggerate? This is a question to all students. What's the meaning of exaggerate or to exaggerate?
Maybe it's starting or
no. So see here, let me say Fauzan is extremely, totally an excellent student. So somebody will tell me, please don't exaggerate. His GPA is C. So what's the meaning of exaggerate? So again, I said, I said Fauzan is an excellent student, a brilliant student. Somebody answered me, please don't exaggerate. His GPA is only C.
Too much? Like someone saying too much about someone?
Good. Yeah.
A person is good, but someone else is saying more than he's good?
Yeah. So don't be over. Don't be over.
لا تبالغ.
Well done, Fauzan. Well done. Your dictionary works well. Okay, so see here, what is the idea of this question? An economist advised the plant, don't exaggerate hiring more workers. They advise them not to hire more workers because, in their mind, there is a huge demand on the vaccine. So they thought if we hire more workers, we can produce more. But this economist advised them, don't hire more workers. So why? In C, it seems to be after reaching the full capacity, if they insist to hire more workers, they will enter into the third stage of production. As you add more units of labor after the full capacity, as you add more units of labor, total product may decrease, causing marginal product to take negative value. And it is definitely not nice. Why? Because of inappropriate balance between labor and capital. In the third stage of production, we have too many labor units with limited capital. So that will cause total product to decrease and making marginal product to take negative values. So don't hire more workers after the full capacity. So assume Mira has a beauty salon with 2 chairs, and she already hired, let's say, 3 workers. So if she insists to hire the 4th worker, the place will be crowded. Too many labor with limited capital. So total product will decrease. The 4th one will cause total product to be negative. So marginal product will be negative. Total product will be less because the place will be crowded. Okay. So as you see here, the case study is not so difficult as some of you assumed. I answered a case study, so hopefully by tomorrow everybody will start writing the answer of each case study. So read chapter 5 again from the video recorded, from the textbook, from the internet. Try to, to be able to answer these 5 questions. You need to understand production theory, or 3 stages of production. You need to differentiate between short run and long run. This is what you need. You need to understand 3 stages of production. What's the difference between short run and long run? Because when I say, can they do something next month? I'm asking about within short run. So in the short run, capital is fixed, labor is variable. So they can add more units of labor till they get maximum full capacity. After full capacity, if they add military of workers, they cannot increase output. Output may decrease.